Today's reading is Mad Hatter, an entry from the Monster Encyclopedia book series. A race peculiar to Wonderland, also called Bushishia. The progenitor of this race was a Montago that suddenly mutated and gained keen intelligence due to a spell cast by the Queen of Hearts when she was mad at being ignored. Furthermore, supposedly the Montago in question didn't actually ignore the Queen. It's just that she was engrossed in having sex with her husband, so she didn't hear her. That sounds like a load of excuses that the Queen didn't buy at all. In the same way as the original species, they are human women that turned into monsters after being parasitically infested by a giant mushroom. As for the thoughts activated by the mushroom, instead of becoming vague, as in the case with the original race, instead they gain greater clarity. Their human intellect and reasoning functions remains intact, while their minds become even faster. Their calm bearing makes them seem greater than human in intelligence. However, the inside of their highly intelligent head is, of course, full of mushroom. It's mainly overflowing with lewd thoughts about sex with men, and monster-like words of love are mainly released from their lips. At a glance, they seem unbecoming of a denizen of Wonderland. But, just like the other inhabitants of Wonderland, they have sex-crazed values, so they're quiet lunatics. However, no matter how sensual their words and conduct appear to be, they never lose the atmosphere of elegance that shrouds them. Even though their words are lewd, they are spoken in a calm, cool tone. That's if they were merely speaking of the weather. When they gesture towards a man's body by extending their hand, it's very natural, elegant even. For them, it's only natural that all their thoughts and actions are centered around love and pleasure with men. When they speak suavely, saying such things as, "Why, naturally, I would like to spend my time joined with you, right?" As if ordinarily there would be no need to even mention it. Men are simply unable to notice their desire and madness behind these words and the elegant atmosphere that shrouds them. Since they're unable to notice even when they're on the verge of being attacked, the man will end up having sex with a Mad Hatter. Their brand of insanity is so natural that just from observing their behavior, one would almost be deluded into thinking it's normal. Additionally, the spores released by the mushroom in their head cause a severe bewitching effect in those who inhale them, making them acknowledge the madness and abnormality of Wonderland. Meanwhile, or otherwise, their consciousness and thoughts gain clarity, so the person who inhaled them isn't even aware of the self-changes brought about by the spores. After touching their madness and getting dragged in this specific manner, once a man tastes their sticky, hypha-like body, Normal will be overridden, and he will be stained into a denizen of Wonderland, appropriately as her husband. It's possible for them to freely remove the giant mushroom growing in their head, or on their head, almost as if it was a hat. And by having sex and obtaining spiritual energy with it off, it's possible for them to bring forth a new hat, or rather, mushroom. A curious thing is that if a man or monster wears said hat, the shroom will change in fact into a normal hat, made from felt or cloth. However, when a human woman puts on the hat, the mushroom spreads its roots, or mycelia, into her head and parasitically infests her, sending a huge amount of spores inside her head and making her head full of mushroom. Once her head is lewdly activated due to that, no matter what she thinks, it will always be led to something obscene, and she'll desire a man's mushroom. And then as if pulled along by that, her heart and body will change into yet another Mad Hatter.